Hey Mum, I'm overtaking something in an Outback. Okay, full disclosure up front, I'm a bit of a Subaru Outback fanboy. Main reason is I like Subarus. I like the fact they use a boxer engine. They're a niche brand. They do things a little bit quirky. Their designs are a little bit, you know, personal. So I'm already warm to Subarus, and the Outback particularly. It just does so many things for so many people in so many situations. Yeah, Outbacks are okay by me, but the Outback has now become even more appealing, I think, because now it's got a turbocharged engine. You see, I think the only irritation with Outbacks previous to this model was the fact that they felt sometimes a little bit breathless, particularly on the open road. Allied to this 8-speed CVT transmission, it never really felt like an engine transmission combo that you could rely on for quick, assertive, decisive overtaking maneuvers. And in New Zealand, we need quick, assertive, decisive overtaking maneuvers because we have very short straights, lots of hilly terrain, lots of corners on our open roads. And so when you want to overtake something, you got to get done quickly and get back into your side of the road. And the normally aspirated Outback, which is, a big car, the Outback. It could have 5 people in here with a bunch of gear in the boot and a bunch of gear on the roof. It just didn't deliver that confidence when you're on the wrong side of the road trying to accelerate past something that's already doing 90 kilometers an hour. You'd sit there, the engine would spin fast, the transmission would try and find its right ratio and slew around. Even if you use the presets that you could get through these paddles here, you'd still get quite a bit of slippage, and it just wasn't a reassuring feeling. So if an Outback came along which has got more open road overtaking punch, well, that's the sort of car that needs serious consideration. And fortunately, I'm sitting in just that very car. Subaru are offering 2 specs for the Outback Turbo, like they do with most of their vehicles. There's the entry-level one, which is called the XT, and that's the one we're in. That comes in at $62,990. And then there's the XT Touring, which is the flasher one with the sunroof and the leather upholstery and the Bose sound system and the electric memory seats, as opposed to just electric seats that this one has, and the blingy wheels and chrome detailing on the mirrors, as opposed to the sort of the black look that this car has. And that's an extra $5,000, so that's $67,990 for the Touring. Both of those figures exclude the clean car fee that we have to pay in New Zealand now. So the clean car fee, of course, is an offset for the emissions that the vehicle puts out. And for the Outback Turbo this year, 2023, the cost of that is an extra $2,357.50. Oh, by the way, those figures, the $62,990 for this and the $67,990 for the Touring, are $8,000 more than the same spec in a naturally aspirated Outback. So you're paying $8,000 for the Turbo. Maybe just running through the output figures of this 2.4 turbo engine will help explain why this car is probably worth the extra $8,000 and why it's feeling, to me, even just shuffling around these suburbs, why it feels a bit livelier. So the 2.4 turbo engine delivers 183 kilowatts of peak power and 350 newton meters of peak torque. Now those numbers are up quite a bit on the normally aspirated one. Like you get an extra 45 more kilowatts and an extra 105 more newton meters. And the thing is those extra kilowatts are available 600 RPM earlier in the rev range, and the extra torque is available a full 1400 RPM earlier in the rev range. So the extra power is there, and it's there more often, it's there much more accessible. So yeah, it's quite a healthy little boost that I've given this Outback. The car is quite a big unit, and I think it feels much happier with this extra power on board. It just seems to pick it up and move itself around, get out of its own way much more easily. It's actually a whole 2.1 seconds faster to 100 Ks than the normally aspirated vehicle, and it's ripping off 0 to 100 in 7.5 seconds, which is okay for a kind of family bus. You get the same sort of 8-speed CVT transmission as you get in the non-turbo car, although it's tuned different for this vehicle. Reverse gear and first gear are both shorter, so that probably helps shave a little bit off that 0 to 100k time. And the other gears, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, are all taller than the non-turbo car. So it gives this car a little bit longer legs, means for a little bit more relaxed cruising. The engine can spin slightly slower at the same motorway speeds, same road speeds, and just take advantage of the torque, the extra torque that this turbo engine offers. The whole car feels more relaxed to cruising, but it's got a lot more authority and a lot more confidence when you push that right pedal. Another happy advantage of this turbo over the normally aspirated versions is the tow rating has increased by an extra 400 kgs, so now this thing will tow 2.4 tonne. From what I understand, Subaru just can't keep up with the demand for this in New Zealand. People are just fizzing for this vehicle. There are sometimes existing Outback owners who, like me, have felt the Outback always needed a little bit more, bulge in its pants, or they've migrated from other vehicles to maybe their first Subaru, where they've seen that the power, the 183 kilowatts and the 350 newton meter headline figures, if you like, are just enough to tip them into an Outback. And also the fact that for the last couple of years, the Outback inside here has looked a whole bunch better and worked a whole bunch better than previous Outbacks. This infotainment screen is great. It's well laid out. It's got all the functionality you want. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got the tunability of the eyesight, the excellent eyesight collision avoidance system that Subaru uses. You can fine tune that very easily in here. And the rest of the decor is cleaned up a lot. The steering wheel's simpler, there's less buttons on it, there's less levers hanging off it. It's just a more resolved design in here. The steering wheel feel is not beautiful in terms of texture because it matches this water-resistant upholstery. So it's not leather, but I guess that's good for vegans or people who are cautious about animals getting carved up to decor vehicles with, and I guess I'm saying I'm part of that crew now. Quite like the green stitching, goes with the green highlights on the roof racks outside. Those green highlights, by the way, all they really do is indicate where the crossbars would attach to your roof rack. This vehicle doesn't come with the crossbars, that's an accessory extra, but these green things you'll see on the outside, all they're there is to say, aim here. Looking forward to taking this car out on the open road and doing a bit of overtaking for a change. I'm coming up on a Nissan Leaf, and I'm doing, just over 80 kilometers an hour. So I don't really want to spend the rest of the day behind a Nissan Leaf doing 80 kilometers an hour. See how this car picks up speed. Let's go, let's boogie. Whoa, look at this. Hey mum, I'm overtaking something in an Outback. I mean, the Outback without the turbo, yeah, you'd get there, but I tell you what, it wouldn't happen anywhere near as quickly as it did back there. So that's a big, big plus for the Outback Turbo in New Zealand. To sum up the Outback, the Turbo, took it down country, and as I was predicting, it's a far better vehicle for New Zealand conditions for open road driving, because it's just got so much more punch when you want to overtake something. And it's not even just overtaking that you need this turbo for. It's really about just the ease of driving it around. It's just so much less laboured. Again, the CVT transmission doesn't have to work so hard. It goes into a high ratio earlier and stays there, lets the torque just pull it through. Otherwise, yeah, really good, really good. I think the $8,000 is worth it, because even though it might be only 10% of the time that you have the car that you want to accelerate quickly, or you want to overtake quickly, or you want to blast someone off from the traffic lights, the other 90% of the time you're just tootling around. The fact that this car delivers so much more torque, so much easier to access that torque earlier in the rev range, makes the $8,000, I think, money well spent.